Yeah, let's get started. So good morning everyone. Let's get started for this class. So it's a gentle class, an hour. We start sitting, any bolster, any blanket, if you like props, have them close by, blocks. So find a comfortable seat, wiggle a little bit in your sitting bones. You can be cross-legged, any seat that works for you. And then lift into the crown of your head, finding some length. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. And then allow yourself to arrive. So connecting with the breath, connecting to your breath, is kind of the easiest way to come into the present moment. You're always welcome to bring your hands to your body. It can help to feel, to notice the breath a little bit more. So watch the rhythm of your breath. Notice how deep you breathe. Because the breath is self-regulating, maybe you already noticed now that you're automatically come to a deeper and longer breath. Take one more breath here. Gently release the hands, open your eyes. And then from here we keep breathing. We add a little bit of movement. So I would now suggest to come into hero pose. That's a kneeling pose. If that's not working for you, you can stay cross-legged, or maybe you use a block and bring the block between the feet. So hero pose also helps to kind of straighten out the spine a little bit more. Releasing, making space. And then releasing the hands to the side. And then first we just move the hands. So with an inhale, turn your hands out. And then with an exhale, turn your hands in. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. And then just notice what's going on in your wrists, in the fingers. And then let's add a little bit more rotation from the shoulders. So with your next inhale now, when you rotate your arms out, the palms out, then also bring the shoulder blades a little bit more together. And then when you exhale, when your thumbs go in, arms rotate in, do that a little bit more from the shoulders. So inhale, finding some external rotation in your arms. And there's an exhale, finding some internal rotation in your arms. Do about one or two more, just checking in how your shoulders feel. And then we keep moving, we keep breathing, we add a little bit more movement of the spine. So with the next exhale now we bring the chin to the chest, we rotate the arms in. And then with an inhale, when we open up the arms, external rotation, we also open up the chest a little bit more. And then with an exhale, rotating the arms in, curling the chin to the chest. And then with an inhale, lifting the chin, opening the chest, rotating the arms out. And then do a few more on your own. Notice how that feels in your shoulders, the neck. If it happens that the shoulders creep up towards the ears, allow them to be a little bit more heavy. And maybe with time your movement becomes a little bit bigger. Let's do one more, moving with the breath. And then after your next exhale, now with an inhale, we're lifting arms and we come up with the seat, reaching up. And then with an exhale, we bring the hips down, we bring the arms back, and we reach the arms back and lower with the upper body. And with an inhale, we're lifting up the arms, reaching up, opening up. And then with an exhale, reaching the arms back, maybe still that internal rotation. And then do a few more, like a morning glory, reaching up, opening up. And then with an exhale, belly draws in, reaching back, lowering. About 2 or 3 more. Deep breathing. And the last one. And release. And then from here come or stay in your child's pose. And then any version of child's pose. So arms can still be along the body, or maybe you bring your arms forward and you release your forehead down between your arms. You also can hook or stack arms, bring the hands underneath the forehead. And then take a few more breaths, allowing the hips to be heavy. You're breathing the belly against the thighs, or if it works better, knees wide. Take another breath. And here we come into a side bend, so we lift the head up. We walk the hands over towards one side, releasing the forehead down. So notice what's going on into your opposite side body, the part you're stretching. So with your breath, how do you feel the sensations? Where do you feel the sensations? And you're lifting the head up, walking the hands through center all the way over towards the other side. Releasing down, being here in a side stretch towards the second side in your child's pose. And then we notice what's going on right now on that side body. We're stretching now. With your next inhale, we're lifting up. Coming back to center. And from here, we're coming back or lifting up to a tabletop with the hands underneath the shoulders. And then let's do a few rounds of cat and cow. So with an exhale, we're rounding the spine. And then with an inhale, we're arching the spine, the shoulders draw back. The exhale, chin to the chest, reaching up. And then inhale, arching the spine, coming forward with the chest. So a few rounds of cat and cow, moving with the breath. Maybe you go, doing a big movement. Maybe you move a little bit smaller. If you like, maybe you stay in one pose and you keep breathing. You're checking in, maybe a little bit of a wiggle. And then go for one more round. Right, from here into downward facing dog. So we bring the hands a little bit more forward, spreading all the fingers, hand, shoulder width apart or more, rounding down, tucking toes under, lifting knees, and we reach back. Maybe for this one, first you keep your knees bent a lot, and you reach your hips back. Take another breath. Feel how your spine straightens out, how you're supported through your hands. And then maybe now from here, straightening the legs a little bit more. Maybe you walk your dog, bending one knee, pressing the other heel down. And then also find some stillness here with the heels reaching down, hips reaching back. Taking another breath. And then let's walk the feet forward, coming to a forward fold. All the hands move back. Feet about hip width apart. Knees can be bent, letting the upper body hang. Shaking your head now. And yes. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. And from here, release the arms. Bend the knees a lot. Tailbone down, and then we roll up. Chin to the chest. Rolling up all the way. Coming to a standing. Alright. Coming to our mountain pose. So feet about hip width apart. Lifting into the crown of the head. Shoulders slightly back. With an inhale, lifting the arms. Let's do a little bit more side bending. So with an exhale, coming over towards the right side. And with an inhale, we lift up. And with an exhale, over towards the other side. One more. Moving with your breath. So finding length with an inhale. With an exhale, we keep the length. Reaching to the side. Inhale, lifting. And exhale towards the other side. Lifting up. And release. Right, a few shoulder circles. Moving your shoulders. Maybe you go in big circles, maybe smaller circles. Then go the other way. And we release. Okay, back to mountain pose. Let's do our toe play. So lifting all the toes, spreading them. And then, first feel how you create your inner arches. You push in all the mounds of the toes. And then spread the toes and bring the pinkies down first. And then one after the other, big toes are lifted. And then we bring the big toes down. We lift the big toes. Lift all the other toes. Spreading. Feeling our inner arches again. And we bring the toes down. With an inhale, we lift the arms, we lift the heels. And then with an exhale, we're coming down, releasing the arms, lifting the toes. And two more. Inhale, lifting the heels, toes down, arms up. And then with an exhale, coming down, releasing, lifting the toes. And we go one more. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, we're coming down all the way. Alright. Let's come back to the front of the mat. And then moving through a half sun salutation. So again, starting in mountain pose. So feel how you ground into your feet. And let's lift all the toes. So activating the feet a little bit more, bringing them down, arms to the side, lifting from the chest. Then with an inhale, we're lifting up the arms. Exhale, we come to a forward fold. And then inhale, we're lifting halfway. Straight spine, straight arms and legs. And exhale, we fold. Knees can always be bent. Lifting up, so reaching from the chest. Lifting up all the way. Bring the arms up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And to your side. Let's do one more. Inhale, we're lifting up. So belly engaged. And there's an exhale, we hinge from the hips, coming forward. So you can bend your knees. Inhale, lifting halfway. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, we fold. And then with an inhale, we're lifting up all the way. Maybe you look up. And exhale, hands to our heart. And to our side. And then one more. Or half one. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, we lift halfway. And then exhale, we come down, bringing the hands down, we go back to downward facing dog. Take another breath. From here, if you like, so either stay down facing dog, or if you like, come forward into a plank. And plank can always be done with the knees down. But either or, pull your belly in, the tailbone is long, and lift a little bit more between your shoulder blades. Take one more breath. And from here we bring the knees down, and we come back into child's pose, and take about 3 breaths here. Steady breath, allowing the hips to come back, down towards the heels. And from here we lift up, coming into a tabletop. And then we move a little bit, in tabletop through a little bit with a twist. So if your hands are bothering you, you can also come up on the wrists or be on the elbows. So we bring one hand on the head, just lightly. So not letting the hand push the head down, just lightly. And then with an inhale, we're lifting that shoulder, that elbow up. And then with an exhale, we lower any amount. Maybe actually we even look a little bit more towards the other side. And then with an inhale, we're lifting up, opening up, open, lifting the shoulder, lifting the elbow. And then with an exhale, we come down, allowing that shoulder to be heavy. And then move with the breath. So with an inhale, you open up the chest into a twist. And then exhale, you lower to neutral and twisting towards the other side. And then do about 2 more. Moving with your breath. And then the last one. And we release. Releasing that one arm and then gliding that arm along the ground underneath the other armpit, and then we lower the head and the shoulder down. Now coming around. So threading the needle, and here you have a couple of choices. Now either you bring that arm forward and let that opposite shoulder sink down, so you're stretching more around that shoulder you're leaning on. Or if you want to work a little bit more with twisting, bring that opposite hand, that one hand in front of your face, with the elbow above the wrist, and then push into that hand, lifting the upper shoulder up a little bit higher. If that works for you. You also can push the top of the hand down of that lower arm. If you want to add more, maybe you lift one leg, so that leg where you're looking towards, and then maybe straighten it, working more on balance. Take one more breath. And lower the knee, lower down, lifting up, coming up, and then from here, moving in circles, moving the hips, moving the shoulders. And we come back to neutral. So checking in with the other wrist. Now bringing the second hand on the head, lightly, landing, and then with an inhale, lifting up. See how far you can easily go. And then with an exhale, we're coming down, we lower. And with an inhale, we're lifting up. And then with an exhale, we're coming down and also a little bit into the counter twist. So go on your own. So you can always check out your range of motion. We usually start with a movement, we start small. There's no pushing. Just allow the body to open up. So notice how this side feels different than the other. So we do one more. Alright, then we release that hand. We glide it underneath the other armpit Look towards that hand we lower down. And then first maybe you come into the stretch for the lower shoulder, so allowing the opposite shoulder to be heavy, the arm reaches forward. You can stay here, or maybe now you glide that one hand underneath the elbow. So you push in front of your face, you push a little bit more into the hand, you come maybe a little bit more into the twist, so supported by the belly. So abdominals are engaged. Maybe you shift the weight a little bit more towards the side of that lower arm, lift the other leg towards the side you're looking to. Maybe, maybe not. And then we release, coming down, coming on both hands, and then again moving through circles. All right. And then from here we come back to downward facing dog. Taking another breath. If you feel your wrists, try to ground a little bit more into the full length of your fingers. So the tips of the fingers, the knuckles of the fingers, especially the index fingers. Take another breath. From here, you walk the feet forward. Again, forward fold. Shaking that no. And yes. And then from here, we slowly roll up again. And we come to a standing. All right. And then from here, we glide one foot back, coming into a warrior one. So feet are on two tracks. So we want to have the hips level to the front of the mat. Front foot points forward. And then back foot kind of in a diagonal, or kind of pointing to the upper corner of your mat. And before we work a little bit with the arms, let's do a little bit of a moving of the hips. So can you pull your belly in and make the tailbone really long? And then can you arch your spine? Do that a few times. Is there any movement available in your hips? And when you do that slow, how does it feel? So what's working on the inside to make this happen? And is there any tenderness, tightness, any sensations around the hips, the SI joints? And then come to a fairly neutral low back, spine, and then from the belly pulling in, making the tailbone a little bit longer. Not tucking under, just a little bit of support. And then from here release that one arm. You can bring the second hand on the hip. Release that one arm and the leg is back. And then keeping the belly engaged, the tailbone long, with an inhale, lifting that arm, reaching, doing this slow. And then with an exhale, without moving the lower body, bringing the arm down. We do this about 2 or 3 more times. So notice how that feels. How is the sensation in your low back, in the hips, changing just with moving the arm? We do one more. And then maybe you move a little bit bigger, higher, if that works for your body. Alright, we keep the arm up. Maybe we add the other arm. If that's not working for you, you can come into cactus. You can bring your hands in prayer. Grounding into both feet. Noticing, that front foot. Can you keep your inner arch? Lifting the toes, bringing them down. And then releasing the arms, stepping forward and shaking the legs. And we're switching sides. So first taking a moment, so it's a mid-wide stand. Some of us a little bit wider. Front knee over the heel, hips leveled, grounding into that back heel. Bringing the hands on the hips. And then working with these hip tilts. So with an exhale, when the belly pulls in, a lengthening of the tailbone. And then with an inhale, arching of the low back. So explore. What do you feel around the SI joints? What do you feel on the front of the hip, the quadricep? Can you sense a difference with that movement in the sensations in your body? And then stay neutral, and then a little bit of lengthening and that support from the belly. Keeping the one hand on your hip and releasing that hand where the leg is back. And then keeping the belly engaged, grounding into the feet with an inhale, lifting that one arm, any amount, just a little bit maybe, and then exhale coming down. So a lot of listening, we move with the breath. Notice what is to notice. In the low back, the hip, that quadricep. Maybe actually you feel more in the shoulder. So whatever you notice. Keep breathing. And modify if you need to. Next time your arm is up, staying here. Maybe lifting the other arm. Staying here for 2 or 3 more breaths. Grounding into your feet. And releasing the arms. Stepping forward. Shaking the legs. And then from here back to mountain pose. And let's do another half sun salutation. So with an inhale, we're lifting up the arms. Belly's engaged. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. At the end, you can round. Inhale, we lift halfway. And then exhale, we fold. We bring the hands down. We go back to downward facing dog. Take another breath. Reaching back with the hips. And from here we bring the knees down. And today I also like to work a little bit with upper body strength. So before, when we did the rotation of the arms, so external rotation and internal rotation. So the external rotation brings the shoulders kind of away from the ears. The internal rotation lifts the shoulders a little bit more up. So now when you're in tabletop, can you find a little bit of external rotation? So allowing the shoulders move away from the ears and the shoulder blades glide down and around the ribs a little bit more. And keeping that, so your elbow creases are pointing forward. Keeping that, and then with your next exhale, can you lean forward and then bend the elbows, maybe only a little bit, maybe a little bit more, like a bow, and then we're lifting up. Now, if the elbows are go down to the side, you're coming into internal rotation, shoulders up towards the ears. Try to kind of pull the elbow creases forward. So we do about 1 or 2 more. Just try, if you like. You don't have to do any of these. So coming forward, and then inhale, lifting up. And when you come forward, feel your belly drawing in, tailbone long, and we're lifting up. And then from here we come into child's pose, lowering. If you like to keep your arms forward, maybe you lift the hands and then draw a few circles from your wrists. And go the other way. And release. Now we're coming back to this tabletop. And then from here, we actually, let's come back to child's pose. And then we do a little bit of a series with this bowing down. So from tabletop, we keep the hands underneath the shoulders, we keep them down, and then we lift the hips up. Now with your next inhale, we come up into tabletop. With an exhale, we bring one knee towards the chest and round. Inhale, we lengthen. Now with an exhale, we bow, the elbows draw in, and you mount. Inhale, we lift up. And then exhale, knee down, and we come into child's pose. And we switch sides. So inhale, lifting up. Exhale, second knee towards the chest. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, bowing forward a little bit or a little bit more. Knee down, and we come back to child's pose. Lifting up with an inhale, tabletop. Exhale, first knee towards the chest. Inhale, get long, extend the leg. Exhale, bow down and you mount. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee down and the hips towards the heels. Inhale, lifting up into tabletop. Exhale, second knee into the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, knee down. And we lower. Let's do one more if you like. Inhale, we're lifting up. Exhale, first knee towards the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee down and lower. And the second half you can do on your own, with your breath. And then either stay in child's pose, or maybe you do that whole series on your own again, both legs, just in case you like. Otherwise, you get comfortable in child's pose or any other pose. Maybe you come forward into downward facing dog. But whatever you do, stay with your breath. Notice the sensations that's coming up in your body. Noticing the rhythm of your breath. And then we stay all in child's pose, a few breaths. Maybe again the hands forward, lifting up. Drawing a few circles if you like. Then we come back into tabletop. And we go back into downward facing dog. And then let's walk the feet forward. Come into a forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Lifting up, rolling up, below body hollows. And we come again towards the standing. Then from here we come into a warrior two. So we step one leg back. So it's, here we actually want to have the feet in one line. So if you draw a line from your front foot towards the back line, it kind of, towards the back foot, it kind of goes to the middle of that back foot. The hips are a little bit level, so the front knee points out. Towards the pinky toe side, we lift the arms, release the shoulders. Take another breath. Now you can stay here in a classical warrior two, or if it works for you, you can lift arms, reaching up. Either staying here, or if it works, interlocking fingers, turning the palms out. Maybe staying here, Maybe coming out for a moment, coming back in. There are always choices, options. And then maybe you move with your upper body in a circle. This can be done with the arms, with the hands apart, with the arms wide, or with the hands together. And then go the other way. And we release, releasing the arms and coming into a triangle pose. So both legs straight, reaching, maybe the feet a little bit shorter, reaching into your front hand. And then when you come down, releasing the hand to the front leg, make sure the front knee is not locked, but you push into the big toe of the front foot, the mound of the big toe, so getting that front leg engaged. Stacking the shoulders, and if you like, you can bring that upper arm up. Grounding into both legs, finding the length in your spine. Bend the front knee, lifting up, we release, shaking the legs, and we come over towards the other side. Maybe now a little bit wider stand again for your warrior two. Kind of checking in with the alignment that the front foot, the back foot is slightly pointing forward. When you're ready, lifting the arms, dropping the shoulders. If the work of your arms doesn't work too well for whatever reason, you always can interlock fingers behind your lower back, reaching the arms down. Or we lift the arms up. Maybe this time if you interlock fingers, going the other way, the other thumb is on top, reaching the palms out. You can stay here. Arms can be apart. Or you come into a movement, like a circling of these arms, moving the upper body. Lots of support and strength in your feet, in your legs. And some reaching and lengthening in your upper body. If you turn, let's do the other way as well. Back to center, releasing the arms and releasing the legs. Maybe shortening the legs for our triangle and reaching forward. Making sure that front knee is not locked, but really strong, engaged. Stacking shoulders, maybe bringing the upper arm up. Steady breath. Grounding into both heels. Moving that upper shoulder away from the ear. And we bend the front knee, we're lifting up. Right. Then from here, wide-legged forward fold. So we pivot the feet around, outside of the feet up parallel. Let's lift all the toes. Grounding into the mounds of the toes. Grounding into the outside of the feet, releasing the toes. Either hands on the hips, or if you like, interlocking fingers behind your low back. Inhaling and then exhale, coming to a forward fold. You always can use a strap here or a towel. You can just reach the arms up. You also can keep the hands on the low back. If it feels good, you lift the arms up. Maybe let them come a little bit more forward. You can shake your head no and yes. Take one more breath. Bring the hands on the hips, squeezing the legs together. From here we're lifting up all the way. Coming to a standing. And then coming to the front of the mat. And then let's just feel our mountain pose. Maybe closing the eyes. Finding the length. Feeling the feet on the mat. And then from here with an inhale, we're lifting arms. Exhale, a forward fold. Inhale, we're lifting halfway. And then exhale, we fold, so bending the knees a lot, going back to downward facing dog. Taking another breath. From here, let's bring one knee down and then bring the other foot into line with that lower leg. For balance, you can bring that one foot where you have the knee bent a little bit more to the back. And then here we come into a modified side plank. So walking that front arm around so that it's a little bit, the hand a little bit in front of that lower shoulder. Rounding into, that straight leg, that straight foot. Taking a breath here. Shoulders move away from the ears. And here we try to bring the legs and the upper body in one alignment. So in case you find yourself a little bit more crooked, you can work on straightening out, lengthening the spine. And then we release. We wiggle, we shake, and we come towards the other side. So that now the other knee stays down. We straighten now the upper leg, we turn towards the other side. Notice how that feels. If the arm is too much forward or too much down, bring it just underneath the shoulder and a little bit more forward. And if you like, bringing that other arm up. So notice the shoulders. Can you move the shoulders away from the ears? Finding support from that upper body. Take another breath. And bring the hand down. Come back to our hands and knees. Now either doing the same thing again, or if you like to work a little bit more on side plank, another option is now that when you work with the first leg, go straight now. We come to the outside of that foot, and then we bring the upper leg, the foot, in front of our body. Hands can stay on the hip, arm lifts up. Either staying here, pushing into that front foot. Maybe, stacking both legs, or bringing the legs in one line, maybe stacking them. 2 breaths, 3 breaths, maybe 4 or 5 breaths. Coming out, coming down. So there are always options, there are always choices. Now we go to the second side, or you come into child's pose. For the second side, bringing the other foot forward, coming to the outside of that straight leg, the foot, stacking the shoulders, rounding, pushing into that one leg, into the foot. Either staying here, or maybe bringing the feet in one line, or maybe bringing, stacking the feet. So whatever works, with the shoulders away from the ears, or maybe you're down here. And then we bring the hands down, we're coming down, we're coming back into child's pose. And then from here, we scoop forward and we land on the belly. And first, let's just bring the hands underneath the forehead, wiggling the hips. Allowing the body to be heavy, and then breathing into your belly. Now from here, let's bring the arms along the body, and then we work on a variation. Actually, let's first do a moving locust pose. So if you bring the arms forward, both of them, So if it works for you, maybe they are a little bit closer, maybe they're a little bit more apart. And then from here with your next inhale, we lift one arm and the opposite leg and the chest ahead. And then with an exhale, we're coming down and we let go. Inhale, we're lifting the other arm, the other leg, and then with an exhale, we're coming down and we let go. So with an inhale, we get engaged, we're lifting, and then exhale, coming down. Inhale, moving the other side. And exhale, coming down. So do a few more on your own. The opposite hand and leg can help pressing down. You're also welcome when with an exhale you lower down, that you turn the head towards one side. Maybe you're done. Maybe you do one more round. When you find the lengthening with an inhale, the lifting, and letting go with the exhale. And that's all. Come down, arms can stay forward, can be in cactus, can along the body. Wiggling the hips. Do one more locust pose, moving locust pose. So with an inhale, we're lifting up the arms, we're lifting up the legs. So finding the length, in case your head is all the way up, bring the chin a little bit more to the chest, crown of the head reaches forward, the arms reach back. And then with your next inhale, try to widen the legs a little bit more. And then with an exhale, bringing the legs a little bit more together. If that works for you, otherwise you just stay here in a regular locust pose. So inhale, widening the legs, and exhale, bringing the legs together. Maybe 2 or 3 more. Moving with your breath. And then when you're done, coming down, turning the head towards the other side, wiggling hips. And then from here we turn around and we come down on our back. And have the knees bent. Let's actually widen the feet. Arms can stay along your body or over your head. And then from here, let's bring the knees from side to side. Windshield wiper. Releasing. Then bring the arms along the body. And then from here, we're coming into a bridge pose. Now, in case you were already active enough and you like to do a supported bridge, you can use a bolster, a cushion or a block, and with the feet underneath the knees, walking, lifting the hips and bringing the block, or maybe a bolster, very nice, bolster underneath the hips. If you like to work on an active bridge, then we bring the feet a little bit more underneath the knees, the feet point forward, the arms along the body, and then from here we ground or push the hands down, we lift the hips up, grounding into the feet. So imagine a beach ball between your knees, hugging the legs. If you have a block, you always can use a block between the legs, hugging the legs here. like, you can roll the shoulders in, grab the outer edges of the mat, pulling the mat apart, or interlocking fingers below your low back. Take one more breath. If you stay, or if you are in your supported bridge, you can stay there. If you're in active bridge, release the arms over your head, lift the heels, and then slowly roll down all the way. And then let's all come into a supported bridge. So grabbing a block or your bolster, bringing that block, the bolster underneath your sacrum. It does not go in underneath the low back. And then taking a couple of breaths here. You can stay here in your supported bridge. If you like to add a little bit of a lengthening of your hip flexor, you can bring one knee up, bring the hands around so that knee closer towards the chest, and then straighten the other leg, allowing that leg to be heavy. And then taking a few breaths here. So notice what's going on in your hip flexor. And then release. Bending that one leg, bringing both feet down. And then switching legs. Bring the other knee to the chest, hands around. And then straightening the second leg. Notice how this hip flexor, the second side, feels different. Always checking in with your low back. But usually with that one knee towards the chest, this is fairly gentle to the low back. And release. Bringing both feet down. And from here, let's bring both knees again to the chest. And then lifting the feet up. Arms along the body. And then take about 5 breaths. So you can have the knees bent so that the feet stay over the heels. Actually, the heels, stay over the hips. So in case they're more forward, bend the knees more. So you get more an effortless feeling. And then try to soften the upper body, let the arms go. Notice your breath. And then bend both knees, bring one foot at a time down. Lifting the hips, taking the block out, rolling down. And again, let's come back to a windshield wiper. Come back to center, from here into a figure 4. So we lift one foot, bend the knee, and bring that ankle in front of the other knee. Here you can stay here, just guiding that bent knee away from the shoulder, or you lift the other leg. Interlock fingers, release the shoulders down, and then stay this way in your figure 4 to stretch the IT band, the outer hip. Keeping the front foot either completely flexed or completely pointed, but keep it engaged to fire the muscles around that bent knee. Release. We switch. Coming into figure 4 on the other side. Engaging that foot, flexed or pointed. Staying either here or lifting the leg, interlocking fingers around it. Where is your mind? feel your body. Then release. And then we close with a spinal twist. So either easy twist or you do a twist of your choice. For easy twist, we bring the knees to the chest. We bring the knees over towards one arm. And then we check in with our body how it feels. If your body is happy, you can let that opposite arm be heavy, grounding you down. Or you bring the arm in. Maybe you have a block underneath the legs. So making it work. And then take a few breaths, allowing your body to sink down. And slowly we come back to center. And over towards the other side. So bring the knees up towards the other arm, checking in with the second shoulder, checking out your options, remembering your options. And then taking a few breaths. And slowly coming back to center. And then we bring the knees to the chest. Maybe curl up a little bit. And release. Bring the legs down. And we're preparing for Shavasana. If you like, you can bring a blanket over your body. And then bring the arms along the body, straighten your legs. And then make fists and tighten arms, legs, your whole body. And release. And then one more, making fists, tightening arms, legs, your whole body. Make faces. And release. And then soften your whole body. Let the feet roll to the outside. If you feel your low back, certainly bend the knees. Soften your face. And then enjoy Shavasana. The stillness in your body and in your mind. If you like to take a longer Shavasana, please feel free to stay here. Otherwise, take a deep inhale and a long exhale. Inhaling all the way in. Holding your breath. And then softly exhale all the way out. And bring movement back into your body. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. If you like, you can bring your arms over your head. Come into a full body stretch. And here, release. Bring the knees to the chest. Hugging the knees. And then rolling over towards your favorite side, taking a moment. And then when you're ready, lifting up. Keeping the eyes closed. Lifting the head up last, coming up to a seat. Let's bring the hands to our heart. And then let's close with one round of Om. Let's all exhale. And fully inhale. Let's remember that we always have the choice to come back to our breath. Namaste. Thanks for joining. I hope to see you soon on the mat or maybe through Zoom.